Welcome to Fan Stream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
The best Monday morning to you, my friends. It is another week of Lightning playoffs. We live. We survive and advance. So amazing. And we're going to have Brian Bradley to chat about it at 11 o'clock here this morning on the JP Peterson Show. Greg Allman will join us as well at 11:30. He was covering the game, Game 6 in Tampa and subsequently Game 7, I'm sure, taking a gander at that as well. We'll talk with both of those. And Greg covered the mini camp as well for the Bucs this weekend, so we'll chat with him about that. Nick Geddes from Outkick.com joining me here this morning. What's up, partner? How are you?
I am doing semi all right. The Lightning obviously put me in a great mood.
Yes.
What a stressful Game 7 that was, but there's nothing better than a Game 7 in the Stanley Cup playoffs. I celebrated by playing a little hockey of my own the following morning because I was so inspired. I'm limping today.
You got a nice little
if y'all can see, I
shot on your face.
Got a little there. I felt like Eric Chernak, put myself in harm's way right in front of a slap shot.
Wow.
Took one right in the face. No problem. Didn't go out. Kept playing on because that's what you do in hockey.
That's right.
You keep going.
If you're a baseball player, you'd be done.
Yeah, and I did wake up today, and I was a little slow getting here because I couldn't move hardly. I'm a young man, but I feel like an old man sometimes when I play.
Yes.
Like you do when you play golf. But I'm here, and we have lots to get into with the Lightning.
I fashioned a nice little 81 yesterday at Palm Basil with a couple of birdie, little back-to-back birdie action. A little nice putt from off the green, then a chip in back-to-back. There you go. Yeah, so it was a good weekend. That really was a good weekend. And not only the Lightning, but the Rays winning a series with Toronto and all the Game 7s. Well, in hockey. They were all dogs in the NBA. That Suns – I went on, I'm like, I'm going to go watch the second half of the Suns-Dallas game. I turned it on. 106-65 in the third quarter. I'm like, what? Like, that can't be right. Yeah.
Your eyes did not deceive
Booker and your best point guard ever, Chris Paul, sitting on the bench.
Yes, and we're not going to talk about Chris. Okay. We can talk about it later, but I don't. Yeah. We'll get
we're not. Screw that. But no, the NHL last night's Calgary-Dallas Game 7.
Oh, great game!
Jiminy Christmas. Ottinger, the Dallas goalie, was just out of his freaking mind. That was insane. They couldn't solve him. Like 65 shots on this guy.
And of course, it's the one from the weird angle that he lets squeak in.
Yeah. Johnny Gaudreau gets the game winner. Calgary goes bananas. That's going to be one hell of a series up there. Yep. Calgary, Edmonton up there. And you got the Florida Panthers, the stinking Panthers. Yeah. Now, if you're a Lightning fan there and you say you're not concerned, you're lying. This is a very, very good hockey team. And they go 6 games with Washington. So we'll get into the stinking Panthers here in a little bit. As I mentioned, Brian Bradley's going to join us at 11. We're gonna relive a little bit of Game 7 though. What a night, man! What a night! And for me, it was great because I don't work the road game, so I can be a true fan. Went down to Sparkman Wharf with my son and my daughter. My son was in from Chicago. My daughter off from Belmont in Nashville, so they were both together. So I had both my kids. We went down to Sparkman Wharf. That was like old home week. Like they're running into their old friends and everybody was there. And it was a beautiful setting. The weather was perfect. And then you're just watching one hell of a hockey game. Absolutely one hell of a hockey game. And I came back and watched it on TV as well, which really sucks for the second round is Bally's is done now. And Dave Randorf who'll join us at some point this week. Brian Engblom, the whole crew, Paul Kennedy, Andrew Chuck, everybody, Chief, everybody. They're going to do pre and post game shows, so we'll get that. But we're not going to get the irregular call again. And I don't know who's doing the series yet. TNT.
We got the full schedule. TNT.
Yeah, but what announcers do we have yet? Do we know?
I'm not sure, but honestly, the TNT has been a fine broadcast to me. So
yeah,
that's fine.
Yeah, they've done a really good job. So we're going to relive a little bit of Game 7 as well. We'll talk some Rays. We'll talk some Bucks. We'll get the whole thing in today. So we'll begin with our Tampa Bay Lightning, and so many storylines in this game. First and foremost, Braden Point. I do not know. I've heard nothing. Lower body injury, obviously. We're not going to learn anything about this. I mean, let's just be honest about it. It's playoff times. It's ultra secret double secret probation. We're not going to learn anything about this injury. But from what we saw on the ice, he was obviously in a lot of pain. Could not put any pressure on it. Tried to come back. My guess, it looked like for where he was grabbing, groin, maybe quad or something. I thought the hit was a little chippy too, a little bit of, I don't know. It was unnecessary to be sure, but it happens in hockey. I would be shocked if he played the first 2 games. What do you think?
I would be too. I mean, I give him credit for trying to go out there because that's what hockey players do.
And then staying on the bench.
And staying on the bench.
Crazy.
That's I think Stamkos did that right during what was it, the game 6 against Dallas there where he scored, or game 3, whatever it was. He got hurt after scoring the goal and he stayed on the bench, and that was a big lifter for the team.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Braden Point, his presence just there, the team was like, well, this guy's tried to battle it out. He's still here with us. Let's go out there and win a hockey game. But by the looks of it, I thought he tore something like a muscle. Yeah. That's originally what I thought. Yeah. I'd like to think because of the fact he got back on the ice and maybe the adrenaline had worn off too by intermission, that maybe that's not the case because he was able to skate for a little bit. Yeah. Maybe he retweaked it. I don't know. But like you said, we're not going to know probably until, knowing John Cooper, probably till warmups. If he's out there.
Exactly. So, and let's just be honest, without Braden Point against his Florida team,
they're overmatched.
We're overmatched. It is what it is. This team is really, really good. Barkov has been phenomenal. Verhaeghe scores a record 12 points in their series against Washington. One of our former guys who couldn't hack it here, but he's setting playoff records. I shouldn't say couldn't hack it. That's very.
He was blocked.
Yeah,
there was a lot of players
blocked. Yeah, we've had a lot of players like this. He's a great player and learned so much from our system that the Lightning are kind of like the Rays in that vein. It's like we're sending all these young players out into the league that are just blocked here, and they're having tremendous success. And that's a credit to the Lightning organization, Steve Yzerman, our drafting, our developing. And you wish him the best, but not so much against us. But he was clearly a factor against Washington. Jonathan Huberdeau set a Panthers record with 115 points this year for them. Obviously Barkov's really the guy that makes it go for them. He's their most talented player, their most dangerous player. Is 26 years old. And by the way, 56.5% on faceoffs. So it's just something that's really been a problem for the Lightning, but not in Game 7. Anyway, so we'll talk more about the Panthers as we go through it. But that game on Saturday night is as they beat the Leafs up there 2-1. I think watching the Maple Leaf fans and their reactions and their behavior was, first of all, by booing our national anthem. How classless
they started
was that?
It right there.
How classless was that? What the hell's that all about?
It's just an odd thing.
What's that very all odd. About?
I don't know. I thought I heard a few boos the first few games, but I didn't know if they were definitive. But that was like right in your face. Right in your face, you're booing the national anthem, which I think is a disservice to the lady that was singing it, who did a great job on both anthems, by the way. So they set the tone right there.
Yes. Very disrespectful on so many levels. What they want us to join them in their socialist endeavors? Sorry, not sorry. I don't know what their problem is. But anyway, they were sent home again. Leafs fans, take that. But Nick Paul steps up with 2 big goals, which we'll play here in a second. And then Vasi in the third. He was Ottinger-esque, I guess, or I should say Ottinger was Vasi-esque. That was a hell of a performance in that third period.
That was game 7 Vasi. This is what we've come to expect. The shutout streak ended, but he only let one in. And it took a damn good shot, by the way, for it to go in, for him to let one in. Yep. So we were looking for the Vasilevsky of old. At game 7, you kind of figured you were going to get that, and he had that mentality like, we're not losing this game. We're not losing this game, and I thought that's what the whole thing came down to. Well, and John Cooper set the tone too. I have to say that the quote that he had going into it, where everybody has kept saying, we even talked about it too. The Lightning are playing. They've already have 2 cups in their pocket.
Right.
Where's the pressure? And John Cooper's like, I don't care if we've won 2 cups. We're on the cusp. I think he said we're on the cusp of greatness. Now, why wouldn't we fly or whatever, go through that door, break down that door and go for it? And I think he set the tone right there that they were not going to go down like quietly. And they certainly did not, because I thought that was probably a very even game, even though the third period was very testy, as obvious. Thought it was a very evenly game played, but Nick Paul was the difference. Toronto doesn't have a Nick Paul. We have a Nick Paul.
And, how about a shout out to Brisebois for going out and acquiring this guy. Hagel hasn't been, I think, certainly is noticeable on the score sheet, has not, but I think he's definitely served a purpose of playing very good defensive hockey, hustles his ass off. It takes a lot of the best players, and I think he's definitely contributed. Maybe not in ways on the score sheet, but Game 6 had a big assist, but he's been good. But Nick Paul, what an addition he has been. And we'll start with his first goal on Saturday night, Game 7.
It's Paul back to Colton. It's a straight up. They score, and it's Nick Paul. A massive goal for Nick Paul, his first in the Stanley Cup playoffs, and it's 1-0 Tampa Bay.
A potential outnumbered attack for Toronto one way. Lightning stop it, and Nick Paul, great reaction here. Stays with the puck, with the shot. When he sets up Ross Colton for the one-timer, he has his stick down and he's going to the net. And he only has 1 second to do something with it. Morgan Riley's kind of with him, but he doesn't tie his stick up. Riley's trying to get to the loose puck first. Paul outreaches him and stabs it into the short side. What a great goal.
That was a great piece of skill right there. And I think Engblom nailed that with his readiness. He doesn't just pass and become a spectator on Colton's shot. He's waiting for the rebound, and that's how he makes such a quick move on it. He's already prepared to get the rebound and knock it in. And that's smart hockey and a great piece of skill right there to give him a 1-0 lead. Yeah,
and go to the net. They always tell you, if nothing else, just go to the net. And that's what he did. He gave Campbell no time to react, just kind of poke it in there. I thought he was maybe the best player on the ice for the Lightning in other games.
Yeah.
Hadn't gotten rewarded for it. And I thought this was interesting. A guy who grew up in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada, which looks like by the maps, it's like 10, 15 minutes outside of Toronto.
Yep.
This guy grew up a huge Maple Leafs fan, posters on his wall, dreamed of putting on a blue and white sweater. He puts on a different blue and white sweater against that team and scores 2 goals in a Game 7. It's storybook.
That's storybook stuff right there.
It's storybook.
Absolutely storybook stuff. And they'll never forget him in Toronto. That's for damn sure.
And what did I tell you, too? At coming down the final stretch of the season where the Lightning were limping and then got going, I said, Nick Paul looks like somebody who's never won a Stanley Cup. When we were talking about complacency. And this series, he looked like somebody who has never won a Stanley Cup, never been in the playoffs. And I think that there's something to that. There's just a different mentality that comes with him.
Yeah, he is, and he's going to have to play an even bigger role now with Braden Point down. We don't know for how long, and how Braden Point could show up and play in Game 1. Who knows, man? That guy is he is a playoff. This is his time of year. There's no doubt about it. He's had 3 overtime game winners. Braden Point has already in his young game career in the playoffs. And watching him go down. For most teams, that's just completely deflating. But this Lightning team, from a mental toughness standpoint, I don't think I've ever seen a better team. You talk about going through COVID, the bubble, short season last year, trying to find the energy, and you're playing more playoff games than anybody. And this narrative that, those are cheaply won cups is like the dumbest thing ever. It's like, it's the hardest trophy to win already. You throw in all those other things, which it was the same for everybody, by the way. Nobody had an advantage during COVID. And people say they take something away from it. You got to be out of your freaking mind. The mental toughness that it took to win those 2 cups back to back is just off the charts. And now your best player goes down in a Game 7 and you don't even flinch.
And they didn't flinch when they played the whole 2020 bubble run without Stamkos, if you recall.
Right.
You won a freaking cup without your captain.
Yeah.
So the Lightning, look at this. We said that they're probably overmatched against Florida. It is what it is. That's not a knock on the Lightning. It's just a credit to Florida's roster.
Yeah.
They just had one of the best seasons in NHL history this year. They're that good of a team. But the Lightning's just the resolve that they show. I said it after that game. The Lightning did not play their best in this series.
Nope.
You'd be fooling yourself to say otherwise.
Not even close.
A lot of their
so many
stars
dumb penalties.
Dumb penalties.
Just not dumb moves, bad turnovers, just not being able to protect leads. Just did not play their normal smart game. But in the end, in game 6 and 7, that's why when we lost game 5, I was like, we're fine. This is the most mentally tough team. Yeah. We're fine. We're going to win game 6 at home. That's a given. Then anything's going to happen in game. And I think I even said it. I said, then Vasi's going to go up there and win game 7 because that's what he does.
That's what he does. And
that's what he does.
And you're against the perceived more desperate team that is dying. We talked about it with Casey Hudson, and it's so true. Yeah. They're carrying like the entire country on their back. That's what it is. The Maple Leaf franchise or the Maple Leaf brand is that big. Yeah. That's what they were dealing with. And they still were able to win 2 games in a row, one on home ice in overtime, where they were battling in that one in Toronto in a game 7 without Braden Point. This is an all-time group in NHL history. Like, that's what I want everybody to know. This is an all-time group. That's not the stuff that most teams can do.
Right. And that's why, when they say this is the toughest trophy to win, it's not just physically, it's mentally. Being able to get back up when you've been smacked down, overtime losses, best player going down, not playing your best, whatever it is, this team just finds a way. They're the find-a-ways. They find a way to win. So then after Morgan Riley tied the game, 13:25 of the second, just perfect shot, top of the net, nothing you can really do about it. Here comes Nick Paul once again with another freaking huge goal.
Here's Paul. Paul's done it. He scores!
What a move.
Nick Paul, what a goal! And it's 2-1 Tampa Bay.
You heard Brian
turning
right
a near
there.
disaster into a great opportunity and a goal for Nick Paul. Watch Killorn here. This is another one in the sequence of plays where you don't get it deep. You're careless with the puck, and he gets stopped. But who gets to the puck first? Nick Paul. And he gets partially checked. TJ Brody's in a bad spot. He has no
kicks it over to himself,
momentum, and he's way deep. And Paul challenges him. Does a great job. Look at those feet. What a soccer move there to use that right foot to kick it up to his stick and drills it past the goaltender. That is a gigantic goal.
Jake Gensel, you got nothing on Nick Paul. I don't know. If you saw Gensel's goal, he literally kicked it up like hacky sack, kicked it up off his skate into midair, and then knocked it in. Well, this was he kicked it from his skate over to his blade between the legs of the defenders, go between 3 defenders, right?
Yeah.
And then beats Campbell. What a goal. We've seen some skill from Nick Paul that I didn't know he had this year. Remember the between the legs assist to Colton?
Yeah, a few of those
for a goal.
Yeah.
And then the behind the back assist or shot between whatever the hell that thing was, the shot that went in between his legs. Damn.
I asked myself, I'm like,
where's this guy been?
That's what I'm saying. What the hell is going on
protection
in Ottawa?
Yeah.
I mean,
my God.
This is just typical Lightning, though. I mean, they see something in somebody's game. They throw, again, to perceive too much capital at this guy to get him. And then he comes out with all this skill. And I don't want to bang on Matthew Joseph today, but I'm just saying, these are not the plays that he was making for this team. I know everybody was upset when you made that trade. But without Nick Paul, I hate to tell you, the Lightning we're not so rosy today.
No way. I mean, what a performance. And then, his defensive play and winning pucks and the whole team, the way the whole team in that third period, Toronto had 17 shots on goal, including a big power play where they had 6. It was just relentless. And I was like, how many times you go, oh my God, we're not.
I was pretty.
It was just not good. This is not good. And they kept kicking, and Vasi just kept kicking him out. Sorry.
That's my thing. I felt actually kind of confident because it wasn't like Vasilevsky was giving up like bad rebounds or anything.
No.
He was stuffing everything.
Yeah.
And I just was like, okay, this is Vasi's game 7 Vasi. Like, he's not letting them lose this game.
No, he's not.
And in the last 2 minutes, even when it was going to 6-on-5, he really didn't threaten in the last 2 minutes, I thought. I thought Vasilevsky did everything there that he needed to do.
Yeah, it was, watching the game at Sparkman Wharf, it was just like a constant scream of, it was funny because there was a main screen out more by the water. Then there were people watching at the bar, the center bar there. And the center bar was about 4 or 5 seconds ahead of us. Mm-hmm. So anytime we heard like loud cheers from over there, we were like, oh, something good's about to happen. And then, Paul will score, we get a big save or something. So it was a great atmosphere out there. And it's so great to get everybody together. Beautiful night outside, just watching the games. It was just fantastic. Where'd you watch again?
I was working.
I'm afraid to ask.
I was working.
Working for Outkick?
I was working for Outkick, so I had the game on in front of me, and I was pulling duty and all nighter by myself for Outkick. I was running the show, so it was.
What does that entail? That entails you like doing articles on everything that's happening.
Anything that happened during that time frame was all me. It was, and I'm also like putting the articles where like feature post and like editing. That's all me at that time.
Damn.
And trying to watch Game 7.
To watch Game 7.
You want to talk about an overload? That was me.
My friend had a graduation dinner at Burns.
Oh man!
No, wait a minute. So he took his phone, he set it up like on the wine thing, and like his wife and everybody were like, "That's cool." Waiter was into it. Everybody didn't have the sound on, but it was like, "All right, that's fine. Well, I'll watch it." So you gotta get your hockey in, man.
You gotta get, but Casey was down there at Sparksman Wharf with some friends too.
Oh, it was packed, man.
Yeah.
By the way, I mean, I think they said had one remote bar set up.
Just one.
I mean, come on. I heard the same thing in Armature Works.
Works had like thousands of people there.
Yeah, and the Lightning don't take care of that. The venue there was the one that does that. Because if the Lightning were doing it, there'd be 25 different beer tubs out there. Now, I heard at the Armature there was one. They had set up one outside bar, and at Sparkman they had one outside bar, and you could go to the other bars that were there, but they were all packed as well. So they say it couldn't bring in coolers, but people just started bringing in coolers because it was ridiculous. You couldn't get a drink. So we were covered in that way, but they gotta be better at that. Whatever. But anyway, It was a great atmosphere, and it's so much fun to watch it. We have the final call.
Yes.
Hey, Brandon, Bally Sports Sun, courtesy. This is it. Great call, by the way.
As I fumble through here.
Yes. I can simulate it. Don't worry.
Lots of clips.
Under 5 seconds to go. Tavares turns, shoots, knocked down, cleared by Cologne. That's it. It's 7th heaven for the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yeah, baby.
The defending champs are moving on to the second round.
Great call. Mobbing Vasilevsky at the net. Dude, Lightning fans in the background. Woo! Dead silence in Toronto.
Drought for the Toronto Maple Leafs
Rub it
continues.
Rub it in, baby. Come on, Brian. Throw a little salt on the wound, will you? He's too respectful for that.
Andre Vasilevsky standing tall again. 1 goal against in this Game 7.
He was the big reason. He was the first star of the game. There's no doubt about that.
No doubt about that.
I can't get over that. It was already nuts knowing that he went 5 Game 7s or whatever, or series deciding wins with a shutout. Mm-hmm. That's already nuts as it is. And now that it's just 1 in 6 games, how many minutes is that? Like, how many total minutes is that? What's 20 by
60? So 60 times 5 is 300 minutes. So 6 games.
That is just
360.
That is just outrageous.
So 360 minutes with 1 goal.
I'm sorry. That is just
that's pretty good. That's pretty good goals against.
Yeah, I'm trying to find this other stat that I came across too that was nuts right after.
Yeah, I think I retweeted that one. If you want to check. Yeah,
he stopped 258 of 266 shots and 9 series clinching wins since 2020. That's a 970 save percentage. For perspective, I believe Igor Shesterkin had a 938 or 939 this year, and that was like almost an NHL record for a regular season. 970 in the biggest games that you're playing in that year.
Pretty good.
My God, this is the best. I'm sorry. You can have your Shesterkins and your Hellebucks and your whatever. This is the best goalie on the planet.
He is.
When he wants to be.
He has been, and we, he's been somewhat mortal this year. I think late in the year for obvious reasons. But when he needed to step up, he stepped up. And now, let's just be honest, he's going to have to steal a series. If Braden Point doesn't play, he's going to have to steal a series against Florida. I don't know how the Lightning match up with this firepower, but they'll find a way. They are the find-a-ways, and they'll frustrate Florida. They'll do what they have to do to stay in the game, and Vasi will do what he has to do. I'm not. Well, I think Florida's the favorite for a reason, but
I'll give you this. We can't just sit here and act like they cakewalk through Washington.
No, they did not.
And Washington was arguably maybe the 15th, the second worst team probably entering the playoffs outside of Nashville.
Yeah.
I'd argue.
Yeah.
And they had, and I think Game 4, Game 5, Game 6, they had the lead the entire time.
Yeah.
And Florida, they just are the best comeback team in the league, and they came back.
They've come back from 3-goal deficits, I think 5 or 6 times this year, which equals an NHL record.
Yeah, so they don't get off. They don't get off to the greatest starts, and I don't know if the Lightning, if they get off to a great start, they're going to let that happen like Washington did, because Washington just doesn't have the firepower.
No.
Even without Braden Point, the Lightning have way more firepower.
Well, the Lightning know how to lock it down when they get
exactly.
leads. So I don't, but we could say that and then watch Toronto come back twice from 2-0 deficits.
Yeah. But that was just a heavyweight matchup. That's what it was.
Yeah, it's just so. But when they needed to, they were able to lock it down.
Yeah.
What do you want to hear from Coop after Game 7?
Yeah,
let's hear from Coop.
Says it all right there.
So that was as evenly matched a series as you're going to see. Adversity rears its head in so many different ways. And sometimes it can, an urgency that's already there, it kicks something into gear. And I thought, the Leafs came out in that period and they had a good start against us. We had to kind of weather the storm. But when Pointer got hurt, it seemed to lock the entire team in. And I don't think we looked back after that. And I don't think you have done what we've done the last couple of years unless you have players that can respond the way they did, and they've done it time and time again. And now you shouldn't be surprised they did it.
John, you kept saying it during the regular season that how you were able to protect your own net was going to determine how far you guys were going to get in the postseason. What you guys were able to do tonight, especially in that third period, is that more back to what championship Lightning?
Well, basically, all 20 guys, you might as well put 88 on their back. I mean, that's what they were doing. They were fully committed to blocking shots. And when you play with that passion, usually good things happen. But in saying that, you still have to get the lead. And I thought the big thing for us was, Riley scores, Paul answers 3 minutes later. So we never gave them a chance to get any momentum going. And I thought that was a huge part of the game.
Do you have any update showing Brady's steps?
I don't. I think everybody saw what happened, and he gave it a go. And in a game where he was not going to the room. He was going to stay on the bench the whole time, but he couldn't go.
Everyone knew what the stakes were for this Toronto Maple Leafs team. I'm not asking you to kind of console Leaf fans, but what did you see over there with that club? And what do you say to people who think that they're never going to get over the hump?
I'm not in that room. I coach the Tampa Bay Lightning. I know some of their players. I've been behind a bench with Morgan Riley. I've been behind a bench with Mitch Marner. I've been behind a bench with Austin Matthews. And if those guys came available, I would be first in line to put them on my team. So there's, like I said, this wasn't a 4-0 sweep. This was, we were down 3-2 in a series and found a way. But it was as close as it can be. And I've personally answered the same questions that they're going to answer now 3 years ago. And so maybe in a different way, I guess, because we'd gone to a final a few years earlier, but they gave us everything we could handle. And the bottom line is, there was 8 teams that had over 100 points in the Eastern Conference. 3 of them went to Game 7s, and one was the President Trophy, went to overtime and had to battle back to win their series. And that's how even it was. And so there were going to be 4 teams with 100-plus points out of the first round. And, fortunately for us, we weren't one of them. But it took everything to knock these guys out.
Coach, you said this morning that when it comes down to a Game 7, sometimes coaching is knowing when to get out of the way and just let your players do what they've been doing all year. How much did that come true for you tonight?
Well, Pointer forced my hand, so I actually had to participate tonight. But it was I don't want to sit here and say you throw the game plan out the window, but as you said, when you guys are laying out and fully committed to keeping the puck out of the net, some of that's game plan, but a lot of that's heart. And boys showed a lot of heart tonight.
Vasilevsky, we talked about this the last couple of days, but Game 7 only gives up 1, and it just seems to give you guys so much confidence in these moments.
Yeah, he's a winner. I could tell early he was dialed in more than any game in this series. And he was seeing pucks and tracking them. And if pucks were getting through, guys laying out, he was there for us. And, he's obviously a big reason why we win.
First round series last year against Florida, and get another crack at them again this year. What do you make of them as a whole this time?
Hard to say. I'm going to enjoy this one, but Florida's a hell of a team. We've watched them all year. We've had some amazing battles with them. I think people, especially in Florida, have been begging for the 2 teams to be contenders and go at it. I think last year that many people said that might have been the series of the playoffs. They've retooled their team and brought some big names in there, and it should be a ton of fun. They're fun to play against. It's competitive as hell, and I think it's really good for hockey.
Well, there you go. It's going to be competitive as hell, and it's good for hockey. Listen, as we sit here and say Florida's got a crap ton of firepower, it still was they still haven't done squat since 1996, and this is a new level for them, and we'll see. And they didn't, like you mentioned, they didn't blow out Washington, the 8th seed, even though Washington, the Caps are sitting there with 100 points. They are who they are. They're a good hockey team. But look, they got to win 4 against the back-to-back defending champs.
Yeah, like I said,
with Vasi locked in now. Good luck.
Yeah,
good luck.
With, like I said, didn't play their best against that series. And I don't know about you, but thinking back to the series the Lightning have played the last 3 years at least, I thought that was the toughest series they've played.
Against Florida?
No, against Toronto.
Against Toronto.
I really did, because there were so many moments where I had doubt.
It reminded me of the Florida series. I thought this series against Toronto was very much like last year's Florida series. It was every game was a battle. I mean, you could look at some of the scores. There were empty net goals. I thought it was just a very evenly matched series. And I guess in this series, the Lightning got up. They kind of, there were a couple blowouts in the games, but for the most part, it got real the last 3 games.
It did. And I thought, you see the reaction of the team. It's like everybody just kind of put their sticks in the air. Like, thank God.
Yeah.
Like, we're done with this series. We just, because that was taxing on them. That took he said it right there. It took everything to beat that team.
Yeah.
It really did. And even though I just don't think.
I'm looking at Colorado right now. They're sitting there. They've been sitting around for a week watching every other team in this league just beat the shit out of each other, going, wow, y'all are doing great. I mean, and even, who do they play now? They got St. Louis, I believe.
I want to say so, yeah.
Yeah. So, it's going to be a tough series, but whoever comes out of the East is going to be so gassed. It may be just an easy final for Colorado. It depends on how their series goes.
It's a dogfight. I mean,
if that's your first round opponent for the Lightning, and now you got Florida, and then you look at the Rangers did last night coming back against Pittsburgh.
Rangers and Carolina on the other side.
And Carolina is just playing unbelievable. Like I don't know if you can beat Carolina at home. They are just. I mean, that building and the way they thrive off that
last year.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they are good. They're better. I think they're better this year. It's going to be tough. It's going to be freaking tough. If the Lightning win a third cup, my God. And now
it'd be the most impressive one, I think, so far.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know how you rank them with COVID. It's just
I think the level of competition right now, I said it's evened out now. The Lightning, I thought, were head and shoulders above everybody.
Yeah.
You have 5-6 teams that are on their level now, maybe better. That's why they're having to win in different ways now.
Well, and you look at it just cumulatively, if you look back over the last, what will be 3-year run, having compacted 2 seasons, basically, the weird circumstances, having to do all the extra crap mentally and physically with COVID, and then now coming back and playing against a historic Eastern Conference playoff slate of 100-point teams, playing 40 games more probably than most of the teams you're playing in these playoffs. I mean, now you lose Braden Point. I mean, come on. I mean, Jiminy Christmas. The deck is stacked against you. But
the deck's been stacked against
they
this
find
team
a way
many times.
They find a way.
Yeah. And by the way, Florida fans, I already saw them. Speaking of that celebration where I said the Lightning celebrated pretty good, I saw from Florida fans saying the Lightning are celebrating like they just won the Stanley Cup.
Oh, we did.
You want to know why? Because we're winners. We get to celebrate like that whenever we want to.
Yeah.
So the Panthers, again, running their mouths right away. But see, this is what happens. These teams get overconfident.
Yeah.
And I already listened. I wanted to hear Toronto. I wanted to hear my NHL Network radio coming in today because I already know the Toronto host had stuff to say.
Yeah, what'd they say?
And they're giving the Lightning no shot in this series.
Yeah.
No shot. And, I heard this one today. Kucherov looks old on the ice. Old. I heard that coming in today. I'm not joking. Now
Is it the beard?
I don't know. I mean, you can talk about his play. You didn't think he played that great in the series.
Nah, I thought I was just watching him skate in Game 6. He seemed very, very indifferent. I hate to criticize him at this point. I mean,
he's not scoring as. I mean,
my criticism
goal in Game 6 though.
He did. But my criticism was almost based on what I know he is. It's like like he's playing right now, he's way better than most everybody on the ice, and that's just a given. So I don't want to say that he's a bad player. I'm not. That's a given. He's better than 90%. He's playing better than 90%. But if the Lightning are going to win the cup, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
he has to start playing at that Kucherov level of last year. I thought last year's playoff he was unbelievable. I thought
he's fantastic. Yeah,
I thought he just he just carried the way. Every time you looked up, he was making a play to set up another dangerous situation. He was either making a play or scoring a goal. He was such every time. It's like when you see Crosby going, when you see some of these other guys going that are the best in McDavid. It's just they take over the game.
Yeah.
Like every time they touch the puck, they do something special. And that's what I'm hoping. I think we need that Kucherov, especially now at Point down, in order to win a third cup. So he's going to have to be that guy. And I don't think he's being that guy right now. Is that a fair?
It's fair.
I mean, it may sound like criticism, but what I'm saying is the dude's one of the best 3 players on the planet. And right now, I don't think he's playing like it.
In spurts right now.
Yes, we're seeing it in spurts, right.
The difference is and I hate to compare anybody to McDavid because he's in his own tier, but let's be honest, he is the reason why they won the series. And and especially Game 7.
Yes.
God mode.
But Kucherov does that for us.
Kucherov has that ability to be that same guy.
Yes.
You look at the impact without Crosby, Pittsburgh melted down.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, I get it. I still think he's just been passing a little bit more too much, and that's why he has a lot of assists. He's picked up a lot of assists. I give him credit for that. He scored the big goal in Game 6, but
he needs to shoot the
puck. It was
puck.
just, to me, I just bring it back because I just feel like the Toronto media has been so arrogant this entire series.
Yeah.
And to say that he looks old and slow, Nikita Kucherov doesn't look old and slow. Okay, I would not.
I think that's a little much.
That's a little much.
That's a little much.
It's a little much.
I think my quote criticism is probably more correct.
Yeah, he's been a little bit passive defensively, which we know that's Kucherov's MO. We got that.
But he can't be.
He can't be.
He can't be in the playoffs, and he wasn't last year.
No.
He really played hard on. He made a lot of defense, and when he wants to play defense, he's so good and skilled with his stick that he just does things that, and his anticipation is second to none when he really, really wants to play at that level. And that's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
he just.
It's not just him. I don't want to pick on him because I think Stamkos had I don't know if pedestrian's the right word. maybe good. Maybe I could go pedestrian to good series.
Yeah.
He wasn't like the Stamkos we saw down the stretch by any means.
Nope.
So I can't.
That's
so if we're
undoable.
gonna get into players who we need to step up, and we have to talk about it. It's a real thing because there is no Braden Point, and you can't expect your third line to kind of carry you every single game.
Yeah.
The star's got to show up.
Right.
But I mean, Killorn, I don't think did he score a goal this series? I don't think he did. He made the really good play to set up Nick Paul on the forecheck there.
I'm not sure if
I don't think he
in the
scored.
post. Yeah.
Cirelli only had one goal. Palat, I thought, was
goal.
outstanding the second half of the series.
But they all played, like I thought Killorn played great in game 7, and especially in the third period. It seemed like every time they went into the corner or there was some dangerous situation, he was getting his stick in the way or getting in the way. He just always seemed to be there in the right place at the right time. So it was a great team win. It really was a team win. Nick Paul and Vasilevsky stood out, but I thought that third period lockdown, even though the Leafs attempted 35 shots, got 17 on net. I just thought that we
knew it was coming.
We kept a lot of the stuff to the outside. Yeah. There were some dangerous situations, but when it got crazy, Vasi was there.
Yeah, and I'll give the refs credit, by the way, for game 7. Thank you for letting them play a little bit.
Yeah,
we didn't have as much of the penalty nonsense.
Well, I think we saw that in 5, definitely in 6 and 7.
Yeah.
Because
that game was like a typical game 7. I mean, we didn't have 5-4, 6-5. We had 2-1. That's how it's supposed to be in a game 7.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we just went 41 minutes there uninterrupted. We thank our sponsors when we do that. Of course, we are brought to you by the law offices of Christopher Palermo. And folks, if you built a house in the last 10 years especially, and you've noticed some cracks in the stucco on the side of your house, you probably reported them to your builder and they said, oh, it's natural settling, blah, 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 blah. No, there's been a product that has been used in the last 10 years here in Florida that is substandard, and you can get some compensation if your house is damaged, folks. So it's a complex process, but Christopher Palermo makes it very, very simple to do. Just give him a call. He knows exactly how to take care of the situation. If the call is free, so just go to PalermoPA.com, PalermoPA.com. Get all of his contact information there. You can email him, set up a consultation, call him. They'll easily just set it up for you. Please tell him you heard it on the JP Show. And he has recovered millions of dollars for his clients. Whatever kind of real estate law question you have, any type of legal issues, it's Christopher Palermo at PalermoPA.com. All right, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk a little Rays. Nice win for them yesterday against the Toronto Ace, which I didn't think they probably saw coming. Scrappy team, but there's more bad news on the injury front for the Rays. So we'll hit our baseball team and a little something on attendance as well. Stay with us. The world economy is in chaos, and mortgage rates are going to go higher in the next few months. Meanwhile, home values are up 24% in some neighborhoods of Tampa Bay. Do not miss this opportunity to refinance your home, get some much-needed cash to handle skyrocketing inflation, and fill up your car. Contact Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. Even if you've recently refinanced, Scott can make the deal work because there's no fee the big boys do. He will also shop your loan around to dozens of lenders and get the best rates and terms. Let them compete for your business. The big banks charge huge lending fees. Customer service is simply a phone number with endless wait times. Scott is local and will personally take your call. Here's his cell phone number. Tell him JP said you could call. 813-294-7595. Scott's done over 3,000 loans, including many coaches and athletes. He will answer your calls and concerns and give you workable strategies to be smart with your money. Reduce your payments. It's not just what you make, it's what you keep. 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. The health professionals at Bay Area Modern Medical Center want you to know it's time to commit to a new healthy lifestyle. It's literally a matter of life and death. 42% of Americans are considered obese, and being obese made you 3 times more likely to be hospitalized by COVID. So getting in shape is not just about looking better, it's about living much longer. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, they take a very different approach to primary care. It's personalized, preventative medicine. Christopher Lugo and his experienced staff are proactive in looking at your issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle, building up your immune system, not destroying it with poor nutrition and bad habits. So call for an appointment, maybe change your primary care, and get on a journey back to full health and a happy life. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Have you purchased a home in the last 10 years and the stucco is starting to come loose from the upstairs portion? Well, that can cause some serious damage that you can't see until it's too late. Is it becoming an eyesore? Have you contacted the builder and just can't get any relief? That's very common here in Florida. So call the law offices of Christopher Palermo. They can help you. Call 813-221-5636. That's 813-221-5636. He's recovered millions for his clients. The law offices of Christopher Palermo at PalermoPA.com.
Coming back at you.
Now, more with JP on FanStream Sports. It's only just begun.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you also by the Gold and Diamond Source. Big thanks to Julie and Steve Weintraub over there. Was at another charity event the other day that they donated a beautiful item to, and all that money goes to the charity. They do that all the time. One of the great philanthropic organizations, Hands Across the Bay, that Julie Weintraub runs, always doing great work in the community. So we say, keep it local, folks. Always keep it local. You're going to buy something for your sweetie, right? Or maybe you want to get something for yourself. The best prices over there, the best staff by far. That's the great thing about going in there. Yeah, you never guess. Let handle it. Tell them a little bit about your sweetie. Maybe show them a picture or two, and they'll like, oh, I bet she likes wearing this, and they'll take care of it for you. Whatever your budget is, there. Don't feel like if you don't have thousands of dollars, you got $100, you got $50. Go on in there, and they'll find something nice for you. It's just the greatest atmosphere to purchase, especially a wedding ring, which is so stressful. Nick went through the whole process and set him up over there. They greet you at the door. They find out what's going on. It really feel like family. They really feel like family over there. And to me, they are family. So it's a family-owned business, and it's great folks. It's just so easy, no pressure. Just walk in and tell them you heard it on the JP Show, of course, and you'll get the best of best service. It's the Gold and Diamond Source, 3800 Ulmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. All right, so the Rays get a nice win yesterday, 3-0 over your Toronto team that I really thought was loaded and ready to take over the AL East. And I guess maybe there's something in the water in Toronto. We own their ass. They're our bitches, just like Boston.
I was going to say our list of who we own is getting longer and longer. And
we just dispatched Montreal. We just Heisman them. Like, all right,
yeah,
that was just our owner trying to do.
Yeah, shit. And when we said Boston was our you know what, I mean the Rays kind of let us down in the playoffs. Don't get me wrong.
They did.
But here we go on the same weekend we knock out Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
The Rays pick up an impressive series victory against Toronto.
Yeah,
I love to see it.
Yeah, and then you had Manoah going yesterday. Boy, it's a big man, 6'6", 285. I'm guessing he might be pushing 3 bills. That guy, but and he's good. But the Rays just kind of waited him out and got 3 hits, a walk, a wild pitch,
piece it all together,
and before you know it, they got a 3-0 win. Jeffrey Springs was outstanding starting the game, went 4 1/3, probably went further than we thought he would go. Whistler comes in. The entire bullpen was fantastic. You shut down that lineup and shut them out, you're doing something.
I thought the most impressive thing I saw was you look at the pitching matchups coming in, and the Rays were going to have to deal with Gausman on Friday and Manoah on Sunday, who have been 2 of the best pitchers in the entire league so far this year. And I mean, they did their part. Gausman was good. Manoah was good too. But just the fact the Rays were able to do enough against those we talked about the level of competition and the level of pitching that you were going to see in this series. I thought it was damn impressive. Kind of unspectacular. Like there wasn't much notable going on. A lot of low scoring games this weekend at the Trop.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be pretty. Tampa Bay find a ways. I guess we could brand that for the Rays as well. It's probably more on brand for the Rays, honestly.
Yeah.
The past few years.
Yeah.
But again, in the AL East, where the Yankees are still hot and the Blue Jays were hot as well, every series victory against a division opponent matters.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And Wander broke his 0 for 18 slump, but still concerning. G-Man was hitless in his previous 18 at-bats, got a broken bat single. I'm just, I still come through this weekend going, I'm concerned about the offense, and then there goes Manuel Margot on the 10-day disabled list with a hamstring. Now what you got? Another no-hitter on the way?
I hate it for Manuel Margot, man.
Yeah.
I really do. He was, like I said, I think last week, that was the week or two of his probably entire career.
Yeah. Carrying
this offense. The Seattle series, it was so exciting to watch him. I haven't heard of a corresponding move yet. Is Josh Lowe, is he back? Is he coming back up? Do we know? I don't know if they want to keep him down there a little longer.
No, you got to bring him up. Obviously they see things we don't. I haven't seen one at bat down there. I don't know what the hell he's doing down. You get reports he hit a 3-run homer there. I don't know. Have you seen his numbers?
I'm trying. My phone is being, as you could see right here. When I got this on my screen, nothing's going right.
Yeah, that's not good. When you see the Apple thing.
My notes are not loading right now.
It's the full moon. It's the lunar eclipse from last night. Did you see that?
I went outside and saw it, and somebody, that Mr. Astrology in my friend group, tried to explain it to me, and I had no idea what he was talking about.
I had a friend who said, well, yeah, that's the sun coming in between the Earth and the moon. I was like,
I have no idea what that means.
No, it doesn't work that way. That would be a pretty hot day. That would be a really hot day if that happened. No, the Earth moves in front of the moon in perfect fashion. Obviously it happens that way all the time, but in this particular case, the shadow of the Earth from the moon or onto the moon covers up the moon. And tonight we'll have a blood red moon. What do they call it? Scarlet red moon or whatever the hell it is. So we'll see that. Yeah, we'll see that tonight. I think it was a little bit of it last night. Once it got total, as I watched the whole thing get covered, it took about an hour. Went up on the roof and played a little ball with Tally, watched the whole thing happen, and it's kind of cool. It's really cool. You can imagine back in 3,000 years ago why the cavemen were freaking out, or the
I can tell.
Or the Egyptians were freaking out, like, what the hell's going on here? But then they figured it out. So interesting stuff. But I think that's why all your electronics is messing up, by the way. So I'm shocked we got through this part of the.
I have no idea how we're even on the air, to be honest.
Yeah. Do we have any sound from the Rays today? Are we doing any sound from the Rays, or are we just skipping over that?
Not
great. Really.
Not
nothing,
great.
Nothing good to really talk about.
It wasn't any
all right, so they got the Tigers coming in starting tonight, and unfortunately, Austin Meadows has an inner ear infection,
so he will not be playing.
Yeah.
Well,
that's good.
The Tigers, again, my notes, we'll see if I can get them loaded here, but the Tigers, if I'm correct, are in dead last in the AL Central. I think they're one of the worst teams in baseball. So
are they now?
Great opportunity for the Rays to keep making up ground here on the Yankees.
Yeah, and the Yankees are playing some really, really good baseball.
I hate saying that, man.
I know.
It pains me.
I know. But do you think they can sustain it? I don't know.
They're 25-9. The Yankees are right now.
Well, the one thing they're getting good pitching, but they won't sustain it.
Yeah, Detroit. There you go. Detroit's 12-23. They just swept this series they just had here over the weekend, so I guess they're coming in hot a little bit. But the Rays again, and we didn't. I think who pitched on Friday? Was that God, so my memory's already clouded. Who was Friday? I know he pitched really good. I watched it. I'm drawing a blank right now.
Wasn't McClanahan?
Oh my goodness, what was? I got it. My notes are back up. Rasmussen. That's what I was going to say. Drew Rasmussen, who, again, I think this is like 4 outings in a row now.
Yeah.
Where he's been really good. Only the 1K on Friday, but again, getting outs against an impressive Toronto lineup. I love where the Rays rotation is going right now. I love where they're heading for the most part.
Yeah, and if they can get Shane Baz back and Glass now maybe at the end of the year, now what are you thinking? Yeah, that could be something. But I think there's no question right now that Eric Neander has to be angling to get a big bat. And I'm talking about a big bat. I don't know who. I haven't really thought about it yet. Going to see another month of this. But, we talked about adding significant payroll. All right? Not Nelly Cruz, not, some other, mid-level bat. I mean a big mofo bat. Put it right in the middle of the order, and now let's go. With this pitching and this defense, Now you got a shot. But and I'm talking about, I don't know who that guy might be. $20-25 million a year guy. I don't know who it might be that's nearing the end of his contract. That to me will signal that Stu is serious about spending money. All this stuff in the offseason, the might have beens, the who are afters, we're in ons is all bullshit to me. Go land somebody. And you're not going to get anybody as a free agent while you're playing in the Trop. And I go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I think they're going to make a move. I think I heard Neander spoke like 2 weeks ago, and he said after a month and a half in the season, then he kind of like can figure out what kind of team they have and what moves they need to make. So I think he definitely has looked around and seen the lineup and who's still slumping. More Randy, again, not doing much at the plate again.
Yeah.
And when Wander Franco goes through a stretch like he's going to right now, it's a byproduct of nobody else around him producing. It's a byproduct of being one of the best players in baseball, and he's still young, and these pitchers know that, and they're able to find his weaknesses. But he's an elite player in this game. He'll figure it out, but he 100% needs guys to protect him in that order. And I don't think he has that right now.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got, and that's what we don't want to ruin this kid, man. We got to get some protection for him. And I'd like to see maybe even 2 moves made, because we may be 2 bats short of being able to contend with some of the better teams in this league. I think that's fair. One other thing I want to mention about the Rays, they did 21,000 yesterday.
Yes.
But still, I think, you'll see, how many of those are Toronto fans or whatever, but it was a good weekend series. I think there's definitely been, I don't know what the total numbers are, but I think attendance has been better this year. I think it's stepped
slightly up. Yeah.
Yeah. But still, not where it needs to be. And we were going back and forth, and people on Twitter this weekend were going gaga that the Rays had put up some billboards. Put up billboards. Did you see the 3D Rosarina? Which is great. I'm glad that they're doing something. They're doing some marketing. That's great. Billboards, beautiful. Does nothing for me. I say you got it. This is a time when people are really hurting financially. So I came up with like 3 or 4 things they could do to help attendance. First and foremost, inflation beater. Yeah, just call it the inflation beater. You guys are struggling out there with dispensable income. We want to help out. All right, we're going to be the Schooner Tuna here, and we're the baseball team of the heart. We're offering $5, $10 tickets, $10 tickets, and 2 coupons for 2 $5 beers. Inflation beater. Yes, great idea. Now put that on a billboard, and then I'll say, let's sell some. First of all, and the first and foremost, I would do a press conference if I'm Stu Sternberg, and first of all, I'd love to just hear him say, I'm selling the team to local ownership. But absent that, if he just stepped up and said, we've done a lot of things wrong. I know it pissed off a lot of fans, but I'm here to say I'm renewing my commitment to the area. I'm going to pay for half of the stadium in Ybor. We're working out the final details, and the Rays are going to be here for generations to come. And to celebrate that, we're going to offer some season ticket specials, and you can reserve your tickets for the upcoming stadium in the upper deck. We're going to open up the upper deck of Tropicana Field. We're going to offer you for the rest of the season $10 tickets for the upper deck, and that will put you in priority seating for the new stadium. How many of those you think you're going to sell? A crap ton. And a lot of people may not go to the games, but they're going to buy those tickets, and those tickets will be out there in circulation. And it's going to probably hurt you from selling your more expensive tickets. I get it. But you're making a commitment with the community. You're saying, look, we're going to start the redevelopment of the Trop site. We're going to allow St. Pete to start doing that so they can get some of this affordable housing going. We want to partner with you. And yes, by the way, we're going to make money off of that. And they will. And just commit to being with the community. And that alone, I think, would spike attendance for all sales tickets. I would do a family pack, and now it's a family pack as well. 4 for $44, 4 hot dogs, 4 Cokes, 4 tickets for $44. I'd announce that as well. I do the monthly memberships that a lot of these teams are doing, $40 a month, gets you unlimited games, standing room only. I mean, come out with a freaking marketing blitz. Get with the community. Do your mea culpa. We're all in. We're here forever. Last few years at the Trop. Come have some fun. We got a quirky little stadium. We'll do that deal, and then we'll move into our new stadium in 3 years. How much energy do you think that would put behind this team? And how many more bodies do you think you would have in that place if you did all that?
Yeah.
A shit ton.
They seem like good stuff. I will say this. And speaking, there are so many. I don't know if you were getting tagged. I think we were getting tagged in the same things. And I was trying to read through some of it. Most of it I ignore because I get tired of it, of having the conversation with everybody. People can need to stay on track. Stay on track, please, Rays fans, because I see a lot. I saw this discussion. I don't know if you caught this. We were really having a discussion about batting practice.
Well,
let me tell you. Let me tell you right now. I don't give a rip about batting practice. Who cares? Who cares? Like, it's first of all, it's not an ownership thing. It's a team thing. This is what Kevin Cash wants. They want to bat it. They want to bat first, way before the game. That's their call. It's not a Stu thing. It's not an ownership thing. It's a team thing. And when people are going to tell me, "Oh, well, they don't let Rays batting practice,"
you could still let the fans in early. It's not that hard to do. You got to pay. You got to pay guys an extra hour.
Who cares? It's batting practice. People are like, "Oh, well, I want to see Wander batting practice."
I love batting practice.
I could give a rip. I want to see Wander in the game where it counts. I don't care about bat. But my point is, this is what we do. There are real issues about this team in the front office, not the front office, the ownership group and the marketing, whatever. We've been over these issues. You just highlighted a lot of them. Stay on course there. Don't start nitpicking well, they don't even let us watch batting practice. Who cares? Well, get over it.
Whatever you can do to make a segment of the fans happy, I would do, especially if it doesn't cost a hell of a lot of money.
Who's coming to the game to watch batting practice? Is that what you're coming? If you're coming to the game just to watch batting practice,
it's not just. It's an added incentive.
Oh, who cares?
And by the way, you get them in there early. Guess what? They buy more concessions. So, yeah. All right, quick break. When we come back, Brian Bradley's going to join us. We'll relive Game 7 from his perspective. He was there, by the way. He was there. He heard that gasp of, sorry, you're done. Go tee it up at the local Muni, Austin, whatever. Brian Bradley coming up next. Stay with us. Cryptocurrency is all the rage today. The market cap for the industry is now over $1 trillion. And you read about people making millions of dollars, right? You want to get in, but have no idea what to do? Or maybe you dabbled a bit and you want to unlock the real money-making opportunities and don't know how to do it. There are over 10,000 tokens and thousands of decentralized finance exchanges to navigate. So what do? You go to DeFiLava.com. The folks at DeFiLava.com are in Tampa Bay, and they work with you directly to set up custom accounts, answer all your questions, and provide market analysis. Decentralized finance and cryptocurrencies are here to stay and will change the financial markets as we know them. Get in the game. Get with the experts at DeFiLava.com and tell them JP sent you and get their free 2022 crypto market forecast today at DeFiLava.com. Don't get left behind, folks. Make some money at DeFiLava.com. The health professionals at Bay Area Modern Medical Center want you to know it's time to commit to a new healthy lifestyle. It's literally a matter of life and death. 42% of Americans are considered obese, and being obese made you 3 times more likely to be hospitalized by COVID. So getting in shape is not just about looking better, it's about living much longer. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, they take a very different approach to primary care. It's personalized, preventative medicine. Christopher Lugo and his experienced staff are proactive in looking at your issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle, building up your immune system, not destroying it with poor nutrition and bad habits. So call for an appointment, maybe change your primary care, and get on a journey back to full health and a happy life. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Italiano Insurance has been serving and working in our community for over 60 years, and it's not just about insuring all the pieces of your life. Italiano is as much a part of Tampa Bay as the Cuban sandwich, Gasparilla, and our Bucks, Lightning, and Rays. They're also active supporters of great charities like the Humane Society, Metropolitan Ministries, and local pediatric cancer centers. Hey, we all need insurance, so do business with a local company with a commitment to our community. $1-877-7799.
Let's go.
right now. Back to the show with JP on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. Our second hour brought to you by Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. All right, let's talk some more Lightning with our good friend Brian Bradley, former leading scorer and all-star of your Tampa Bay Lightning. What's up, Brian? How are you, my friend? Are you there? Is he there? I can't hear him. I can't hear him for some reason. There. Stand by. There. Now I got it. Now I got you. I do. Sorry about that. We're getting a little feedback though. Can you hear me? Yeah, I got you. We're getting a little feedback here. We're having a little issue. Stand by here. Stand by. All right. How about now? No.
Yeah, I can't hear you.
Now you can hear me. I do have you. All right. Here's what we're going to do. We'll take a quick break, and we'll come back, sort this out, because we can't do it with this feedback. So stand by, Brian. We'll take a break, and we'll call you back, and we'll get you on. Go Bolts. All right. My producer is feverishly figuring this out, and we will come back on the other side like a minute, and we'll have Brian Bradley all set up. Stay with us.
That was odd.
What do you think?
I don't understand. We've done this before with you having the cord.
Right.
I had my thing, and it started like playing over.
Yeah.
I was like, what the heck is that?
Maybe because you had the cord in originally.
We've done that before, though, where you've just run the show.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. Because my mic then would have been muted, but then once I muted my mic, then he couldn't hear you.
Should have nothing to do with it. Does it have anything to do with who starts the stream? It doesn't, right?
Couldn't my Skype just load? It's like I really don't have any idea how to like.
All right, let's just do it. I think it works.
Ooh. See, that was odd right away too. Why is it playing over whenever you're trying to talk? That makes no sense either, because it doesn't do that when I'm doing it. So now you're not going to be able to talk to him. He's going to do the same thing.
Yeah, I'm here.
I can't hear you unless you talk.
Yeah, I'm here, buddy. Can you hear me?
I can barely hear you guys. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, boss. We might have to table this for another time. What the heck is happening?
You're going over now. You haven't been talking before.
Yeah.
Now you just dropped from the stream.
Named the Small Business of the Year. 813-877-7799.
Cryptocurrency is all the rage today. The market cap for the industry is now over $1 trillion. And you read about people making millions of dollars, right?
Can you hear me?
But have no idea what to do? Or maybe you've dabbled a bit and you want to unlock the real money-making opportunities and don't know how to do it. There are over 10,000 thousands of decentralized finance exchanges to navigate.
Can you hear me?
So what do you do?
Yeah, I got you.
DeFiLava.com. The folks at DeFiLava.com are in Tampa Bay, and they work with you directly to set up custom accounts, answer all your questions, and provide market analysis. Decentralized finance and cryptocurrencies are.
All right, hey, Brian, I don't know what's going on. We'll just try it tomorrow, buddy.
Get in the game. Get with the experts at DeFiLava.com and tell them to set you and get their free 2022 crypto market forecast today at DeFiLava.com. Don't get left behind, folks. Make some money at DeFi.
I don't understand. Now it just dropped you from the stream. Really? Yeah. I think it might be your computer. Because it keeps dropping you from the stream.
Approach to primary care, personalized preventative medicine. Christopher Lugo and his experienced staff are proactive in looking at your issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle, building up your immune system, not destroying it with poor nutrition and bad habits. So call for an appointment, maybe change your primary care, and get on a journey back to full health and a happy life. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Have you purchased a home in the last 10 years and the stucco is starting to come loose from the upstairs portion? Well, that can cause some serious damage that you can't see until it's too late. Is it becoming an eyesore? Have you contacted the builder and just can't get any relief? That's very common here in He's recovered millions for his clients. The law offices of Christopher Palermo at PalermoPA.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's rock. This is FanStream Sports with JP.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. Are we all good here? I believe we are. Sorry, guys, we're having technical difficulties. I blame the lunar eclipse on all of this. So we won't have Brian Bradley or Greg Allman joining us this morning. We're just having some technical issues, as is known to happen here. So we apologize, but we move on. We'll still have great content for you the rest of the way. Our thanks to Bay Area Modern Medical Center, by the way, BAMMC.com. Christopher Lugo and his team will get you all set up. If you've been looking for a new primary care physician, this is a great option for you. He works with the military. He is in the military himself, works with our top pilots to keep them fit and ready to go. And he'll use those same techniques to get you in shape as well. If you're looking for testosterone replacement therapy, they are experts in the field and they do it the right way, where they're monitoring your blood work, making sure that you're getting the right doses. A lot of places don't do that, and they want to make sure that it's not only your physical well-being, but your mental, emotional well-being, because when you start messing with hormones, it can get a little dicey. That's why they have great experience doing it. It's cutting-edge stuff when working with the military. So Christopher Lugo and his team at Bay Area Modern Medical Center will get you right. Go to BAMMC.com and get all their information. Please tell them JP sent you, BAMMC.com. All right, so as we talk a little bit more about our discussion there on the Rays, I brought up all those wonderful ideas for getting everything straight and the attendance. And I think I don't necessarily think that the Rays are going to do any of that stuff, but they have been, last year when we started bitching about ticket prices and it took off on Rays Twitter, they came up with the $10 ticket for the last, month of the season, and that was tremendously successful. And with the new stadium, I think imminent in terms of being announced. When I say imminent, I think before the year's end, I think we'll have an announcement on the stadium in Ybor. Right now, from what I'm told, they're working on the roof and a lot of different designs to figure out what they're going to do with that, because I don't think we've ever had a situation where, maybe the new stadium in Arlington, is that a retractable roof or is that a fixed roof?
I think so. I think it's retractable.
Yeah. They've kind of ruled out the retractable one. So now I think they're thinking about doing something very unique and different. And that's going to take a little bit of time to get the number on that, figure out the financing. But I think that's eventually where we're heading. So it would be great for him to take advantage of that this year, because I think a lot of people, if they knew they would get priority in the new stadium, would definitely sign up for that type of season ticket deal. You agree?
Yeah, I mean, anything is better than what they're doing right now, which it's basically non-existent. And they're getting good crowds on the weekend, which we've come to expect. And I think they play the Yankees on Memorial weekend, which is going to be a huge weekend for the Rays. But again, how many Rays fans are going to be there compared to Yankee fans? We know how it goes. But I mean, I have started to subscribe to the theory of if you really enjoy the team, I think you need to. I think, like you said, you have if it's a Shane McClanahan start, I think you got to be there. If you want to see this team play, you got to. Like, in my opinion, I understand that there's not a lot of money for a lot of people to go around. I get that, but I mean, don't you want to kind of have the Rays be like your form of like, I guess, your entertainment spending money? If you really love the team, if that makes sense, what I'm kind of saying.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's fair, right? I think you got to see it from both sides.
Yeah, I think, if you're talking about 1 or 2 games a year, yeah, go do it. But I'm talking about, making significant strides and getting a lot of people into the ballpark. I think all of those things I mentioned would go miles to get that done. I really do. And I think more than anything, partnering with the community, I think community would be very forgiving for all the bullshit that he's done over the last few years. I think they would if he actually, reached out and partnered with the community and not only in building the new stadium, but in the redevelopment of the Trop, all that. Just take a totally different attitude towards the community than you have been, trying to sell us out and go to Montreal and talking about other places and always bitching at the fans, telling people you're broke when we know you're not, all that stupid stuff. I just think if they could somehow wrap their arms around the fact that he's trying to partner with us, I think it would make a big difference. And the dollars and cents make a big deal. The dollars and cents make a big deal. If you offered something that's a lot more affordable, people would go, especially in these inflationary times. Everybody, even people I think that I would call middle class or upper middle class, are looking at their budgets now and saying what we can and cannot do. And when you're talking about spending $200, $250 to go to a baseball game, on a Wednesday night, that's just not doable. It's not doable. If you bring it down to, 4 for $44, and the whole night's going to cost you $60, $70, that's much more doable with gas and everything else, to get to the Trop and whatnot. So I think, it's great that they're doing billboards, but I wouldn't go gaga over that. To me, it needs to be more targeted towards the money spent. And, it's like any other business. If you lower the prices, the people have options, they'll look at it. All right. So a couple other things I want to get into. Bombshell dropped by Drew Brees yesterday. Basically saying, I may be coming back. I may be, I'm not going to, it looks like he's not coming back to NBC.
He's out.
That was a flop.
Was it though?
I didn't think he was bad, but I if you ask me like right now, do I remember anything he said about football? No.
I mean, but I think the standards of announcing now, I think everybody loves the over the top guy, I guess, that breaks down the game. And he's definitely more of a mellow, mild manner kind of guy, but he's always been that way. It's just odd to me though, because it was 1 year. That's it. 1 year for Drew Brees.
Bruce Arians, same way.
I know, but Drew Brees is a little different. He's one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Hall of Famer.
And it's very well liked, very personable,
very well liked.
He has a great. I thought his analysis was good.
It's a flop on NBC's part because they, again, like how Brady just did with Fox, they tabbed him before he retired as the next guy to replace Chris Collinsworth. That's what their whole plan was he would be the new guy to replace Collinsworth and probably be with Tirico, I assume, at some point.
Yeah.
And that has not happened. So now NBC's got to make a move.
So what happened there, you think? Here's my guess. Is he got out there, and I think when you're this close to the game and you still have tons of your friends playing in the league, you can't criticize them. You just can't. And I think at some point, the executives are saying, hey, listen, you got to be a little bit more critical. You got to be a little bit more honest about what you're seeing. And he's probably going, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not comfortable with that.
Yeah. There's a certain guy that you need. It kind of like a great example is this morning on ESPN, Patrick Beverley is everywhere.
Yes.
And Patrick Beverley, again, he's got that personality where he's just going to tell you how he feels. End of story, end of day.
Right.
I mean, he's playing in the NBA right now at a pretty high level on a good team in Minnesota. Just was in the playoffs like 2 weeks ago, and he's sitting here today criticizing everybody that walks in the league right now.
Yeah.
And that's great. ESPN loves that.
Of course they do.
They're chalking it up.
He's trending.
Right now. He's trending literally because he's not afraid to say what he said, what he feels.
How do you think that makes like JJ Redick feel or Kendrick Perkins or the guys they have or Stephen A. Smith, the guys they have on there every day? They're not trending, but you get a guy on there that's a little bit more honest.
They're honest. I mean
they are.
JJ's
honest, yeah.
great. Have you seen? We'll get into it a little later, maybe. But you see the Kendrick Perkins, Draymond Green back and forth.
No.
Oh, we're gonna have to play that later.
Okay. Well, he called Chris Paul a traffic cone.
Apparently, he called Chris Paul. I hope I can play it later. If you can, I shouldn't even make promises we're gonna play anything because if you take a look at my screen right now,
what's going on over there?
Well, I have the little rainbow circle going around my computer.
Wow.
I can't even turn on my camera.
Wow.
I can't hit anything. My computer is like making this loud noise.
Wow.
So you want to talk about having a bad go right now? It's me.
But we're making it work.
We're trying to make it work. We do apologize about the guest, which does.
Yeah.
It's a stinker, but we move on.
Yeah. Well, anyway, here's the thing. If Drew Brees comes back, hello, Jameis Winston. And I gotta ask Saints fans this, and we'll get Mike Neighbors on tomorrow because he always knows what's going on with the Saints. If you're a Saints fan right now, you just got Landry, you just got Olave, right? Michael Thomas. You still have Alvin Kamara. You've rebuilt your offensive line a little bit, but they lost Armstrong, right? Armstead. So Drew Brees is like, damn, look at all these weapons. But if you're a Saints fan, you're like, man, the last 3 years you couldn't throw the ball 50 yards downfield. Your arm's toast. So unless his arm has refabbed itself, refurbished itself in the last year, I don't know if I want Drew Brees coming back because Jameis with those guys, he's much more dangerous in both ways.
Yeah,
as he always is. But again, last year he started the season 14 touchdowns, 3 picks, and was 5-1.
I know it sounds crazy, but I really don't think it is. Is Jameis Winston a better quarterback than Drew Brees right now?
I gotta say yes. I'm sorry. I'm gonna say yes. In this league, especially with Brady in your division where you got to score now, of course, obviously beating Brady has not been hard for the Saints. But, I mean, in this league, you got to score 30 points a game, right, to be a consistent winner. And I don't think Drew Brees has the arm strength to take advantage of that roster right there.
Well, I will say this. His chemistry with Alvin Kamara was obviously just crazy good. I don't think Jameis had the same – because Jameis has never been great at throwing to the running backs. So that's a part of their offense that Drew Brees would help in. The receiving group is stacked, and maybe Drew Brees, we already know he can't throw 30, 40 yards down the field anymore, which is sad kind of. But listen, they have Michael Thomas, Jarvis Landry, Chris Olave. None of those guys are running deep routes anyway. None of them. Maybe that's part of it. Jameis loves to throw the ball down the field.
Olave is.
Olave is not as a deep threat as you think he is. Really not.
We don't know yet. We haven't seen him play
unless we see what he does in this offense. But Jarvis Landry, I know it for a fact, is not.
Right.
Michael Thomas is not. Those guys are not burning you down the field. Marquez Callaway can burn you down the field, but he's stuffed on the depth chart now, obviously, with those additions. So, I mean, yeah, Drew Brees would probably do fine for that style of offense. But if they're trying to win a Super Bowl and they're trying to max it out, you can't do that anymore in the league.
And plus, you gotta move forward. I mean, Drew, if Drew comes back, it's only going to be for 1 year.
It kind of it's a waste almost. I think it sets you back because what are you going to have to pay Drew Brees now? And then you're going to be paying 2 quarterbacks how much money? And they did so much to get their cap situation under control.
If Drew comes back, he's not going to make anything.
I mean, he's going to want something.
Well,
he's walking away from a huge deal with NBC.
Well, look, I just think that he looks at Brady and he thinks he can do it.
That's
what's going on here. He looks at Brady passing all his numbers and he's like, oh, I got to get back and do this. I got to keep doing this. No, you can't. You're not Brady. I know Drew Brees is taking care of his body well, but his arm strength compared to Brady's is not even close.
It was gone for years before.
It's been gone for 3 years. It's not just this last year. Brady's arm strength It's not fallen off one bit. And yours has
best rates and terms. Let them compete for your business. The big banks charge huge lending fees. Customer service is simply a phone number with endless wait times. Scott is local and will personally take your call. Here's his cell phone number. Tell him JP said you could call 813-294-7595. Scott's done over 3,000 loans, including many coaches and athletes. He will answer your calls and concerns and give you workable strategies to be smart with your money. Reduce your payments. It's not just what you make, it's what you keep. 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. The health professionals at Bay Area Modern Medical Center want you to know it's time to commit to a new healthy lifestyle. It's literally a matter of life and death. 42% of Americans are considered obese, and being obese made you 3 times more likely to be hospitalized by COVID. So getting in shape is not just about looking better, it's about living much longer. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, they take a very different approach to primary care. It's personalized, preventative medicine. Christopher Lugo and his experienced staff are proactive in looking at your issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle, building up your immune system, not destroying it with poor nutrition and bad habits. So call for an appointment, maybe change your primary care, and get on a journey back to full health and a happy life. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Have you purchased a home in the last 10 years and the stucco is starting to come loose from the upstairs portion? Well, that can cause some serious damage that you can't see until it's too late. Is it becoming an eyesore? Have you contacted the builder and just can't get any relief? That's very common here in Florida. So call the law offices of Christopher Palermo. They can help you. Call 813-221-5636. That's 813-221-5636. He's recovered millions for his clients. The law offices of Christopher Palermo at PalermoPA.com.
Pure sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Looking to lose weight? Want to lose some weight? They've got some great programs at Bay Area Modern Medical Center to get you in your tip-top condition. Just go to BAMMC.com and check out the webpage there. Christopher Lugo and his team will use their cutting-edge technology and methods that they use with the military to help you out as well. Just go to BAMMC.com for more information. A couple other stories we want to get to. Phil pulls out of the PGA Championship. Then Tiger Woods has been practicing. Saw some shots of him this morning on Golf Channel. Looking good. Southern Hills is where they're going to contest the PGA Championship this weekend. Probably get a little toasty out there. He doesn't have to worry about any cold days like he did at the Masters. I'm not expecting much from Tiger this week. But hey, a 50-year-old won it last year, Phil Mickelson. So
I've been watching a lot of his practice stuff. I know it's just practice rounds, but again, the crowds are out and about again for Tiger. Mm-hmm. He looks, I'm just going off of his swings. He looks a lot more, and he already said he was asked, do you feel more comfortable now than you did at the Masters? And he was like, oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, of course, it's been a month since he's been out in a professional course like this. I don't care. I'm never going to count this man out of anything that he does.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be that guy.
Nope.
I'm just not.
Can't do it. He's the Brady. He's the GOAT.
And it's going to be exciting as all hell this weekend to watch him play in a major championship. I'm always excited for that. It's always appointment television. But I do, it sucks that Phil's not playing. I'm over this, honestly, everything that's gone on with this.
Yeah. I guess Shipnuck's Bucks coming out this week. And maybe Phil doesn't want to be around for that. I don't know.
I mean, maybe part of it is how much time has he had to concentrate on his golf?
A lot.
I mean, but then again, I don't know.
He hasn't been doing anything else.
I know, but has he though? I mean, I don't know what he's been doing. Clearly, no matter what, I don't know if he's scared to go out into the limelight right now, which is possible because the guy seems like public enemy number one to people. I look at, did you see what Greg Norman said, for example, about the Saudi thing when he was asked about it?
No.
Greg Norman, to me, what he said was worse. I mean, he said like, well, we all make mistakes is kind of what he did, which to me is
the Saudis.
Yeah, about the Saudi. We all make mistakes, which is just very tone deaf. And I feel like that's worse than what Phil said. I'm over with the trying to like just rid this guy from history because of one comment that he said in a book.
Yeah.
I'm over it. He's the defending PGA champion. And we were talking about how this was such a great moment in sports and in golf, and he's not going to be defending. And that doesn't sit right with me.
Yeah. I mean, they just announced over the weekend, and he was going to play. He was on the participants list, so he had to opt in. Well, I guess, yeah, of course you have to opt in even as the defending champion. You have to say you're coming. And then, on the Saturday before, you just withdraw without comment?
Yeah, without comment, too. I don't – that was sent through the PGA, so you got nothing from Phil himself, who is still, like, again, like just total, like, radio silence from him right now.
Yeah, so I'm trying to read a little bit in this. His agent released a statement, said, our client, Phil Mickelson, is officially registered to play in the PGA Championship as well as the U.S. Open. We have also filed a request on his behalf for a release to play in the first LIV Golf Invitational in London, June 9th to 11th, which, by the way, I'm hearing the PGA Tour is giving
big no. They blocked all of them.
Big no for everybody. I guess Sergio will be going, though, evidently, based on his comments to a rules official. So as this article continues, a great deal has transpired since the statement was made public, as PGA Tour Commissioner Jay Monahan has denied all waiver requests for those golfers who sought to participate in the other tour. This leaves Mickelson in an even stickier situation. He could very well ignore Monahan's decision and play in London, despite the potential of disciplinary measures from the PGA Tour. However, that would mean for Mickelson's Grand Slam aspirations. Without a U.S. Open trophy, this year's third major championship is set to take place June 16th through the 19th, the week following the first Golf Invitational. So the United States Golf Association will have to make a stand one way or another when it comes to Mickelson and other people participating in the other tour. So I don't know. This is a weird situation. Again, I think, you missed the Masters. Enough is enough. I mean, I don't think what's going on here? Is this the tour? Is it his sponsors? Is it the fans? I mean, it's not the fans. The fans want to see him play. I don't
know what sponsors he has left. He lost majority of them.
Yeah.
Callaway put him on like a suspension, I think.
With all the crap that's going on in the world, these spoken words don't seem, I mean, they weren't, I mean, my goodness. I mean, it's all pretty evident what's going on and what Saudi Arabia's done, but everybody does business with them. I mean, he just put it out there
I
in
listen
words.
to it like this, okay? In my world, I say my world, the wrestling world, I guess, because you're not involved in the wrestling world.
I'm not involved in the wrestling world.
But they do, I don't know if you know this, they do like 4 shows a year, big shows, by the way, in Saudi Arabia. And they've been doing this since 2018, I believe, right? And they've taken their fair share of heat for doing that, obviously.
Right.
Because they're like basically kneeling down to the Saudi prince and they give him everything he wants. Whoever he wants on that show, they give him, right?
Right.
And the first few variations, they didn't
in
have
exchange for lots of money.
Yeah. And the first few variations of the show, they couldn't have any of their female wrestlers on the show. Now they can, but they all have to be like covered up completely, no skin showing, hair all up in the braid or whatever. So that's how it is. They take heat for it, and they still continue to do it. My point is, they take some heat for it, but everybody's just kind of accepted it.
Everybody's over it.
Everybody's over it. They move on. So I don't understand why this is now the one that we're all going to choose to. And to me, I look at it like this too. Like for the older players on the tour who wanted to join this new league, like they're 45 years old, 50-year-old. A lot of the guys, okay. They're not doing much on the tour now, competitive wise.
They can make a hell of a lot more money.
You want to make a hell of a lot more money? My goodness, that's decisions they're going to have to live with in their life. Okay. We're not the people here to make the call on what people want to do.
Right.
Okay. I'm not trying to defend it if it's morally right or whatnot, but if that's what they want to do, I mean, we can't, who's in charge of stopping people from doing certain things?
I mean, the tour is by not allowing these exemptions. I mean, they can,
I get that, but I'm just saying, if that's what people want to do, you can judge them morally, whatever, but why are we just going to put an end to it? Based on it? Because are they breaking any rules necessarily? by joining the tour?
No, not really. I mean, they just don't want. They don't want to. That's their only defense. It's like you can go play that, and everybody would go play that tour if there were no ramifications. They just go take the money, and then that would obviously short circuit the fields that you have for your PGA Tour events. I mean, there would be nobodies at that thing, and then you have a lot of investments. You're protecting all of your corporate sponsors because you don't want to have, 8 to 10 of your regular tour events be just like, non-entities because all the big names are playing overseas.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I mean, it crushes your business model.
Yeah.
So they're just trying to protect their turf, not pardon the pun. And that's what they have to do. It sucks, but it's just, this is a transition point. The PGA Tour is probably going to have to come up with a lot more money. And you know where they're going to get it from? They're going to get it from the only place they can get it from right now. So much of their money goes towards charity. Like these local events like Valspar, for instance, all the tickets they sell, that money goes to charity. Now that money could go to the players' pockets instead. And, the charities are going to lose out. It won't be a good look for the PGA Tour, but it may be what they have to do to survive, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. It's business. And if these Saudi sheiks who are financing this tour, I mean, they're not going to get as much return on investment as they possibly could. They're just doing it for an ego thing. They're not, I don't think they're going to make money on it. With the amount of money they're paying the players, I don't think they can. So it kind of screws up the market a little bit, but I don't want it to F up my tour, my PGA Tour. I really don't. I don't want the PGA. I mean, because the Valspar might be one of those tournaments that you lose. It's kind of in that second tier of tournaments that, or second or third tier tournaments that might get crossed off the list opposite one of the other big events. So that's how it would affect me. And I don't want that to happen. I like my PGA Tour the way it is with the majors and everything. It's fine. I don't need some big money tour with a bunch of guys that are kind of has-beens kind of getting together for a little clam bake on the weekend, playing for a lot of money. I mean, I like to see young stars coming up like KH Lee, who won yesterday in the Byron Nelson. That was a great finish yesterday. And those are the type of tournaments that are going to go away. And we're going to see, a lot of big names, but guys that may not be playing their best golf. A Sergio Garcia, for instance. That those guys aren't a lot of these guys aren't in contention every week because they're getting older, but they still have big names, big enough to bring in TV viewers for this other tour. So I don't like it. I don't like it. I never have liked this other tour ideas, the World Golf Tour. I mean, they kind of fashioned that into the PGA Tour. They did that nicely. So that's good. I think my golf is set. I don't need another big tour. I don't.
I agree 100% on that. But I don't know. I just wish Phil was playing.
I do too.
I just, as a fan, to see Phil and Tiger in a major again, I mean, why are we being robbed of that?
And it doesn't seem to me that it's the PGA Tour keeping him from playing.
Well, that's what people seem to suspect. That
I think he may have been suspended on the PGA Tour, past, like maybe for the past. But when it comes to these majors, I don't necessarily think they're keeping him out of the Masters or keeping him out of the PGA. They might be. I don't know. I don't know.
To me, though, it just feels like the more this goes on, we've seen the last. Have we seen the last of Phil on the PGA Tour? I don't know. I think the more this goes on, the more he supposedly wants to get involved with this Saudi LIV thing, then it may be it. I don't know.
It may be a situation where he is broke. Like he's gambled away all of his money.
That was in the book.
Yeah.
But something about he gambled away like $40 million from like a 3-year period.
Yeah. It could be a situation where he's broke and he's embarrassed. I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out there. And he, for whatever reason, is in debt to, who knows whom. If you're gambling that much money, when you don't pay.
My goodness, we thought
Guido don't like that.
We thought John Daly was the biggest gambler in golf.
Yeah, Guido don't like that. Yeah. Do we need to hit another break?
We do not, no.
Okay. All right. So a couple other things. So Jerry Jones, he says that he would never sell the Cowboys, but if he did, he could get $10 billion for it. I think the Broncos are currently they're for sale, and it's expected that they're going to go for $5 billion, which would be a record for an NFL team. and the Cowboys could go for $10 billion. So I think the Bucks are probably worth around $5 billion as well.
$5 billion?
$5 billion.
The Bucks are not worth $5 billion. No.
If the Broncos are worth $5 billion?
No. I know the Bucks have upped their value in the last 2 years,
Yeah.
but they're still probably on the lower end of the spectrum.
Well,
NFL
Forbes,
franchises.
Yeah, Forbes would do does the valuations, but like how much would people pay for it? I don't. It's the NFL. It's one of the rare places that you can buy celebrity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you're a billionaire and you want to be a celebrity, you can buy an NFL team like David Tepper in Carolina. Nobody knew who he was, right? Before he bought the Panthers.
Yeah.
And now he's, kind of, I'm going to say a worldwide celebrity, but people know who he is. You can, as an NFL owner, it's kind of like opening a Premier League team as well. You buy into one of these situations, you become an international celebrity in some ways. And so I think there's very few places you can do that. And this is what a lot of these guys with billions of dollars and big egos want. They want to be celebrities. They want to be sports teams owner. That's like, when the guys are sitting around, when the billionaires are sitting around and they're measuring their stick, that's kind of what they do. I'm the manager, I bought this, I bought that. And an NFL franchise is one of those big sticks, so to speak.
Yeah, I think though that Jerry Jones, if he wants to sell, by all means, I have zero problem with the Cowboys continuing the streak of not winning anything.
Yeah,
but I think he's holding them back. To be honest,
I do too.
I think he's in the way too much.
I agree
of what he's doing there. But the interesting thing about that, I think the Dallas mayor said that he believes that area could hold 2 football teams.
Yeah,
because he said this is like the home of football. Or whatever. We can have 2 football teams.
Well, I think the Dallas metropolis area now, which includes Fort Worth, that area is now the 3rd largest metropolitan. It's eclipsed Chicago as the 3rd largest metropolitan market.
Who the hell living in that area is going to be like, yeah, I'm going to root for this other team that just started up over the Cowboys?
Like the Chargers. Like, do the Chargers have any fans in LA?
No.
Do they?
No, we don't need to put. I hate
like the Rams barely have any fans in LA.
I hate putting 2 teams in the same city.
What are you going to do? Like, what are you going to? Are they? Since it's going to be an expansion team.
What are they going? Yeah. What are you going to call them? It's going to be exciting. What are you going to be? The Renegades? What are we going to call them here?
I don't know. I don't see Jerry ever allowing that.
Jerry
to
would
happen.
have to agree to that. And you think Jerry, with his ego, is going to be like, yeah, just come on over.
Doesn't it always seem when mayors get involved in sports, it's like,
they just
what are you
keep
doing?
The F out because
make your stupid little crab claw bets, But other than that, like they always seem to screw stuff up.
They do.
I'm just, we're dealing with the stadium issue now.
Yeah.
And, sometimes that seems to get a little bit screwed up when it comes to that.
By the way, switching gears here real quick, the Lightning. We did have news.
Yes.
That John Cooper is speaking right now.
Okay.
Braden Point is highly doubtful for game 1.
Highly doubtful.
Then day to day after that.
Okay.
From
All
John
right.
Cooper's mouth.
All right.
In the line rushes today, Nick Paul was on the 2nd line. So that breaks up the 3rd line. Riley Nash was out there in the center in the 3rd line, but Corey Perry was also not out there either.
What happened to Corey Perry?
No idea. Maybe he'll be asked, but the presser's literally like live right now. So
okay, so Nick Paul moves up to the 2nd line.
Nick Paul was on the 2nd line today. Yes.
With who? Stamkos?
No, I believe it was Sorelli and Killorn.
No, these lines have been mixed and matched so much now. So Sorelli and Killorn, and then Cooch, Stamkos, and I'm trying to think of what's the best way to mix this around right now.
It was Stamkos, Sorelli, Kucherov,
Okay.
Paul Killorn.
All right. Yeah, you're mixing everything up there.
Again, I don't have everything in front of me. We have bad issues this morning.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to have to be a series where, especially if Braden Point doesn't play, that they're going to have to, they have to win it a different way. They're going to have to, we've seen this too with these highly offensive teams coming into the playoffs, and things just get a little different.
I am curious.
A little different.
I am curious though, like without Braden Point, do you just put Riley Nash in the lineup? I don't know the last time he's played. Honestly, it's been a long time.
That's taking a slow team. I mean, right now, We do not look as fast as we used to look. And you take Braden Point out.
Yeah, it's gonna be everything more stagnated.
Put Riley Nash in.
Yeah. But my point was, do they go 11-7?
That's what I'm thinking.
Do you go 11-7 in the playoffs here? Because Ruda's been sitting on the bench.
Yep.
I don't think it would hurt because, I mean, you need more. I don't think it would be bad to have an extra demon against this team.
Like you go 11-7 and you try to play a very defensive hockey game and just counterattack.
Yeah. Because, I mean, we talked about Riley Nash
I hope
a little
you
bit.
get a lot of power plays.
We talked about him a little bit. I know a lot of people probably aren't familiar with him, but he's like the epitome of when he's out there, nothing's happening either way. Not a bad thing by any means.
Especially in this series,
So
in this series,
maybe,
that's good.
I mean, he's a defensive bottom guy, but I don't know. Again, if you put him on that line with Colton and Hagel, they want to push, right? Because they were the best line the Lightning had.
Right.
And I think if you put Riley Nash there, you're dropping off offensively big time with that line. And then Paul, I don't know if he's ever played with this variation, Paladin, Killorn. So it'd be a whole new thing for him as well. So I kind of like the 11-7 because I think Ruda, I know Bogosian is the bigger body, so they wanted him in there in that series, but I think Ruda's a better straight-up defenseman than Bogosian. I think you could have both of them in there. I think I'd like that better. I
think Cooper and the boys are going to earn their money here, this coaching staff. And I feel like game one, I think the Panthers are probably going to roll in game one. But then I like the Lightning making adjustments throughout the game, seeing how their personnel match up and coming back in game two and stealing game two. Then we've got home ice and we go from there. I think the Lightning can make a lot of different adjustments, but I think they're going to have to kind of feel out this because this is going to be kind of a different Panthers team and a different Lightning team than we saw. I'm trying to think of their last time we met late in the season.
Was that, I think the Lightning, that was the 8-4 game.
Yeah.
The Lightning went 8-4.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. We blew them out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but without Point, it changes everything. It just changes the entire dynamic. But again, this is an experienced team that knows how to play and win in different ways. Hey, I wanted to shout out to people that are in our group chat on YouTube. Luke W. Brought up a really good point about Kucherov. He said, to be fair, Kucherov had a lot more gas in the tank last year. It's a great point, man, because he didn't play the whole season, the regular season. So he had a lot more energy for the playoffs. I think that's, more chomping at the bit.
He missed 30 games this year too, though.
True. I think in the whole Russia war thing going on right now, he just again, I'm not criticizing Kucherov as not being, a great player. He's a great player, but just we need him to be the best player on the ice to win this series. And I don't know if that's what he's been in the first round. Mario Christian said about Ray's attendance at Tampa Bay. First of all, got 3 out of a possible 4 wins over the weekend in Toronto teams. Yes, we did. So Toronto was our bitch now. He was also talking about he signed up for a preseason package of some of the better games. And he was talking about that. A lot of people may have bought those. That's why they had good attendance this weekend for Toronto, which whatever. He said when the Rays were losing 95 to 100 games a season, they were promoting 4 games for a starting price of $60 or 6 games for 78. Yeah, they were doing all that stuff.
They had the flex pack.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
You got 5.
Lots
I
of
did
good
that
stuff.
every year. The $5 flex pack. It was like 75 a pop or whatever, or 75 for the entire thing. And I used it every year.
He said they had a pack that was just weekend based, weekday only based, and also based mostly on the big teams, which were most expensive of the 4 to 6 packs sold. They just have a lot of different things that they just don't do anymore. T. Corral jumped in and said, love the show, JP. Been a fan for a long time. Go Noles, go Bucks. Thank you for joining us. And asked us, do we have win totals after the schedule released? I just know the Bucks win total was 11.5. And I'm going under. I'm going under 11.5 with this schedule. I think the Bucks win 11 or 10 games, and they make the playoffs, maybe win the division, and then have a good shot in the playoffs, depending on their health at that point, to win a Super Bowl.
17-0.
You're out of your mind.
17-0. T. Corral.
Not happening. Not happening. All right. Anything else we missed? Oh, I saw this video this weekend. Did you see this? There was a fight happened at like a parking garage, and this girl literally ran over somebody, and people were filming it. It was the weirdest thing. It was this fight ensued. There's 2 girls, just pulling each other's hair. Instead of breaking up the fight, these people are all just shooting it with their film.
I know you hate that.
And then she's running over somebody with the car. There's a guy under the car, and people are just filming it instead of like, jumping, opening the door, smashing the window, and getting her out. It's just crazy. Just animals. But can we just be humans? Can we just be humans? All right. Our thanks to the guys that were going to join us. Hopefully we'll get them on tomorrow. Sorry about the technical difficulties, but we'll be back tomorrow. And we will see you. Raise.